Good evening. Good evening. Today's episode and conversation will be really a relatively light conversation. It feels more like a reflection because I am in my fourth month here. I cannot believe that. But these are the three lessons that I've learned in these past 3 months. And I've been talking to my husband mostly and talking to others and really trying to reflect on what it's been like professionally, mostly. This is more of a professional focused conversation and then also personal. Yes, I'm new to Thailand, I'm new to my job, but I am not new to education. And so making sure I balance for myself how I show up for myself and for the work that I'm doing. That's really what this is about. If you're navigating being new, right, new to a career or new to a job, new to an experience, and you're adjusting to some kind of cultural difference, or just adjusting, or exploring your own personal growth, I'm sure everyone is having those moments. This is a conversation for you. So, before I get started, let me introduce myself. In the channel, I'm Dr. Davia. Welcome to Not All the Things. This is a space for success, mature women of color. This is a place where I talk about work-life balance, and I do feel like this is a little bit of a work-life balance, reflective conversation. We talk about wellness, and we talk about wine. Um, and today's conversation is definitely, in my opinion, more work-life balance. If you're new here, thank you. Welcome for coming. If you are returning, I'm like, yes, good to see you all. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and share this. I do think that as I have been here, I'm learning stuff that I do think is transferable. I'm learning a lot about myself, and I am learning and sharing not only my uh, Thailand experience, but my own journey, my own reflective moments. So I just wanted to get that out and say that three lessons I've learned, definitely about self, about truth, and about culture will be the focus. Let me see who's in the space. Oh, long time no see. Hello. I miss seeing you. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I'm glad you're here. Absolutely glad you're here. Thank you. Thank you for being here. All right. So, my first lesson um, is really you have to know yourself. You have to be able to walk into your own self and say, you know what? This is who I really am, right? And the first thing that I've really, really, really um, have been thinking about is when you move to a new place and you start something new and everything is changing around you, the language is changing, the sounds are changing, the smells are different, the food, how people interact with you, their mannerisms, you still have to stay grounded because you're just feeling all the newness, and you can feel a little uh, not centered. You can feel like I need to figure out who I am. Not that I need to figure it out, but I need to lean into who I am. And it's not about, it's more about what you like, knowing what triggers you, knowing that you don't have to always stand back and stay quiet, and understanding where you need to put boundaries. And I will say professionally, I have spent these first couple of months really trying to find my footing, partly because the language is new. And I don't mean Thai. The language of the company, the organization is new. The way in which they engage is new to me, right? And the way in which they like to do certain things is also new. And so I stand back, I watch, I observe. I'm big on doing that. Um, but when you know, right? And so for the past month, I've been organizing a conference, and I've had lots of conference meetings with all of the heads about what we need to be talking about. And it's again, it's odd to have me, right, organizing the conference, but it is around learning. And so that is what I do. And so I've had some real conversations about, no, we need to do it like this. And they're like, oh no, Davia. And so I'm like, listen, I do this. I know how to do this work. And so it's fine to stand back, and it's fine to hold your peace. But when you know something and you know how to do something, you have to speak from that space. And so this is a picture of us at our last day of the conference, which was yesterday. And these are I would say, my two main supports, Lynn and Rosie. And we had a lot of battles. We kind of had a lot of tussles around what it should be and how it should look. And I really had to say, no, I don't think that's, I know you might have done it this way, but truly, let me lead this. Let me show you. And trust that I know. And I had to step into that, right? And so when things are new and you are trying to find your footing, don't shy away. I would say lesson number one is know yourself, and don't shy away from letting people know, right? Real important. All right. Yes, I miss you. We have to figure out a chance to check in for sure. Thank you. All right. Lesson number two. Lesson number two is also related, and it's not just about this one instance, but you have to speak your truth, right? And so speaking your truth in a new environment sometimes is hard to do because you're new, right? Or it's new, right? And so you don't want to seem like overly assertive, and you definitely want to express yourself, and you want to make sure that you are having honest conversations with folks. But you also want to really understand the situation and really see where the other person and their perspective is. And so I do a lot more listening intently and listening to what's under, because what I've noticed about Asian culture is they don't always say exactly how they feel. You have to kind of read the perimeter when they start to ask questions. Well, how is this going to work? And what is this going to look like? Some of it is genuine interest, and some of it is saying, I don't know about that. But they don't say, oh, I don't know about that. So I always try to share and say, well, from my experience, or this is what I know to be true, or this is how it's happened for me. I show you this image of conference materials, and whenever I do a workshop, I really try to create an atmosphere for people to really feel playful and joyful. And I make sure to add all kinds of items for people to play with, to use their hands, really to just be present, but to have fun. And they never had a budget for environmental stuff or hands-on materials. Yeah, they usually get some markers and some chart paper, but they were like, wait, you want to buy Play-Doh? I was like, yes, got to buy Play-Doh. And you want to buy fidgets? I was like, yes, we need to have fidgets. And you need to have coloring I was like, yes, we need to have all kinds of coloring, markers, all kinds of things. I wanted the tables filled. And so it was it was a little bit of a tussle for them to understand the why, but we got great feedback, right? And so when you know, you have to speak your truth. And I said, you know, I've done this many years. I've done workshops. I always do it in this fashion, and it always lands, right? And so you have to lean in to what you know, and you have to be honest. And it has nothing to do with not being polite. It doesn't have anything to do with um, being harsh or disrespectful. It has everything to do with being authentic and saying, this is my truth. I respect your truth. I respect your opinion. But for me, this is what I know to be successful, right? The other thing about speaking your truth in a place that is like Bangkok is on the personal side is as you interact with people, you let them know that you don't speak for all Americans. Oh, well, you know, Davia, since you're American, I'm Black American, I'm also a woman. It's a different experience for me. I can't speak for all Americans, right? And so a lot of times they may have a perspective that you speak for. And we get that at home a lot, but it also shows up here. And so I'm like, no, I'm really just speaking from my experience and what I know, which may be different from another American's experience, right? I come from a city, a big city, right? My interactions are different. And so I can't speak for all Americans. I can speak for me, and I can speak for some Black women feel a certain way, but I can't say all. So it's interesting that I professionally have to speak from a place of truth, but personally, when you speak from a place of truth, you have to make sure you ground the conversation in, well, it's not all Americans, it's just me. And sometimes it can be others feel this way, but it's just me. So I don't know if that resonates for anyone, and I don't know if that makes sense, but I do hope that when you're in any new situation, you will find your voice and you will speak your truth. And you can give yourself grace when it takes time to come to it. Because I've had to be really, I had to push myself sometimes. That's not my personality. I kind of stand back and I kind of listen. But I'm just too old. I have too much years of experience in this work. And I'm here to do the good work, right? And so I try to come from a heart place, and I try to be open and listen. So knowing myself is lesson number 1 these past months, and speaking your truth is lesson number 2. Lesson number 3 is to pay attention to cultural norms. When you come into any new environment or new space, you are having to understand that every culture has unspoken rules, has ways of greeting, ways of showing respect. And what I've learned is that you need to be culturally aware, right? It's about being observant, it's about being respectful, and it's about being adaptable, right? And even if you're not moving to a new country, but you're moving into a new job or you're moving into a new community, you still need to have that same understanding, right, of paying attention to some cultural norms, right? Knowing that sometimes things are happening around you that you are unaware of, right? Or that, what's happening here? And I know I've said in past lives in my office, they speak Thai all the time. I catch a word here, catch a word there. Um, but when it's time to go to lunch, there's a way in which I can tell, like the voices get amped up and there's this back and forth. And then all of a sudden, everybody stands up. And I'm like, are we going to lunch? And they're like, yep, we're going to lunch. And I'm like, okay. But the other thing is, there are times when you're in a space and you're not aware or attentive, partly because you're centered, but you're not also looking outward. And so for these past couple of months, the Queen Mother, this is a picture of a memorial of the Queen Mother, she passed away. And so there are memorials all around the country. This is at a train station, if you could believe. It's huge. And the entire country is in mourning for the next, well, for 90 days. And so what that means is you're wearing muted colors to work. You're wearing black, grays, and if you're not wearing muted colors, you have this black, hopefully you can see this black ribbon. And that is out of respect. And I work for a British company, but in Thailand. So when we go to work, we wear black every day. Do I have to do that? No, of course I don't have to do that. So when I'm not wearing black, I make sure to wear my ribbon out of a sign of respect. And you can tell when you're on the train and when you're moving around who's visiting, who's a foreigner, so to speak, because the entire train is in dark gray colors, browns, and also being very introspective and quiet. There's not a lot of, the partying is happening, but at a much quieter level. Everything is kind of toned down. And it'll be like that for the next few months. I think after January, we can go back to wearing colors and things like that. But having an awareness, because the first day I happened to wear gray. I knew because we got an email saying that the Queen Mother had passed and that we were to wear dark colors. But when you get on the train or when you go outside or when you walk around and you look around and you see, wow, everyone is being respectful in that manner. And it brings you closer to the community. And my coworkers have been saying, wow, Davy, are you still wearing black? And I'm like, yeah, I'm coming to work. I work here. I'm going to wear black. Or if I'm not wearing black, I'm going to make sure I have my ribbon on. Right? So having an awareness helps you to bring closer to some understanding, and people see that you're trying to be respectful. So I think that's an important one. All right, who's here? Hey, hey, how are you? Oh, I miss you. Good to see you. And the last thing that I wanted to just put on here, which is a little bit reaching back to an earlier conversation, is I had been talking about a mode of transportation that I love, which is a tuk-tuk. And I had said that I was going to put a video of me in the tuk-tuk, so I'm definitely going to do so that you can see it. And if you haven't seen that, go back. There's a blog that my husband put together about movement. And then there is another video about different modes of transportations or apps that I like to use, which I thought was pretty useful. And so before I show you that, I just want to highlight what Tracy said. Excellent lessons, great reminders for starting new opportunities. I will put these into practice tomorrow. Oh, and rewatching this often. Yes. Oh, thank you for that. I've really been sitting with it. I've really been reflecting, and I've really been saying, what's going on for me? I know some people have asked me, oh, how are you able to make this transition? And it actually has felt easy. I don't know how that is that it's felt easy. Maybe because it was a God's match. But I do know that I am trying to understand, especially from a professional perspective, and bringing 25, 30 years of experience, you have to step into yourself, knowing yourself, speaking your truth, and being really responsive to the community and paying attention is so, so important. And I really, really have to kind of stand back and reflect on it daily, because there are times when I'm not speaking up. I am going, what's going on here? Partly because I'm just trying to figure out how things are moving. And I want to let people know that I am present and I am aware. But I can't show up any other way because this is who I am. And as my husband has reminded me, I've been hired to do the job because I have the experience to do the job. So step into it. Yeah. So thank you, Tracy. Thank you for that. It really is important, when you are new, for you to really, really don't come in gun blazing. Come in with some humility, but show up, right? Show up knowing that you know what you know. Yeah. Oh, yes, Wendy, what? Yeah, oh, yeah. You want to see the picture when I get on that moped? Probably when you come. That's when you'll see that picture. I am not so sure I'm going to be able to do that. I am not brave enough yet. Not yet. All right, let me show you this video of the tuk-tuk. I hope it works. Me is my favorite mode of transportation in the tuk-tuk. I really do enjoy it. It's inside, it's covered, as you can see, and yet it's still kind of outside. So yes, that's me, my tuk-tuk. That is my morning. I love the tuk-tuk rides. When I hang up and I leave this live and I make my way to work, because it is morning time for me, although it is evening for you, I call the tuk-tuk, I go downstairs, I wait. He's usually never on time, but that's okay. And then I take that little ride to the BTS train, and it's great. Sometimes it stops and it picks up other people, which I also like, because usually it's moms with their kids and they're going to school. So there are always little kids that kind of get in and they sit near me and they, good morning, sawadee ka. And so that's always sweet too. So I love the tuk-tuk rides. No, listen, I don't know if you saw in the video, the side saddle. There was a sister going by. She was side saddle on the moped right next to the tuk-tuk. I don't know how they do it. If they're wearing a dress, they just get on sideways. They sometimes have on a helmet, sometimes they don't. But they just get on and hold on, and nobody holds on to the driver. That's the other thing. You get on, and then there's like a place where you hold your hands in the back and you lean back. I'm just not ready. I want to do it. I want to brave it, but I'm just not ready. Not yet. Oh, thank you. You know what? I feel like just having a little taste of a space is nice to have. Sometimes you can't visualize it, and so I take a lot of photos, so I want to just always add a little bit. I just think it gives you a little feeling around it. All right, well, it has been good to see you all. Again, my 3 lessons that I have really leaned into is knowing yourself, speaking your truth, and paying attention to cultural norms. If you think this has been useful for you and for others, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it with someone. I am trying to still grow my subscriptions, but I do love my little community, because it's my community of people who show up for me. And I just want to say thank you. And I'm cheersing you. I have some green tea today. Um, I will at some point get back to some wine, but it's going to have to be taped because it's early in the morning here. So I just want to say cheers. And remember not to do all the things. Keep it easy, balance it out, and take care. I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.